For the last 3 years, my husband and I have been dreaming up, thinking up, working up a plan to radically change our lives. We are pursuing an alternative. It's really quite a discipline not to live in the unsettled uncertainty of that. I'm learning how to make peace with the unknown. I acknowledge what changes I want to see, and I'm working towards that. But it's absolutely vital for my mental, emotional and spiritual health that I don't live in that uncertainty. Live 100% where you're at, but hold it lightly. That's my motto. It's been my motto for several years. Live 100% committed to where you're at, but hold it lightly. The first 18 months of that journey was really tough. I lived in the uncertainty of it. I found it very hard not to constantly be thinking and dreaming and pushing up ways to see this happen quickly in my timing, forcing opportunity. I often found myself feeling trapped by finance or situation. I sometimes would compare myself to others, and that had an effect on relationships, and it just served no one or nothing, and it certainly didn't move us forward. You know, I was cross with the government. I was cross with things that had happened to us in our past that meant our situation was difficult in the current. I felt on edge all the time. It increased my pain levels. It increased my searching in the wrong places. I was off track from being someone who is very proactive, healthy, wholesome, quite grounded. I suddenly found myself in an alien state and place. I couldn't be in that space for long before I knew I just had to make the change. And I had to really just address this, stop, focus, and start living differently. And the last 18 months have been very different. The first major step was to acknowledge that there was a peace that I can take in the moment of not knowing, making peace with all scenarios, knowing that from a place of peace, you can find purpose and passion. As soon as you do that, I then move into acting from a place of purpose rather than from a place of fear. I was having to move out of being fear-led to being purpose-led. I think the first big thing I decided to do was to see this as a challenge. I've got an entrepreneurial spirit. I like to make things happen. I'm quite creative and dynamic, and I like to think outside the box. I'm not necessarily living in a place where there's a lot of like-minded people, but I certainly can't blame that on anything. It comes from within. And actually, that was a starting block for me. It was to re-engage and to rekindle that fire in my belly and to see this as a challenge. We want a lifestyle change, a radical lifestyle change. We believe there is a different way to live. We believe that living on our own, doing our own thing, building our own empire is not for us. Living amongst others who have agreed and are signed up to a way of life together, sharing community space, time and effort, passion and purpose is for us. Living in a country where it's very difficult at the moment to buy land or to build buildings or to convert properties without a lot of finance behind you or without a golden ticket or an opportunity into something is difficult, but it's not impossible. I think then the next step I've been working out is that the next step is to clear up your life. Physically, as you know, I love clearing up the clutter, but in relationships, with time, how do you spend your time? How do you spend your relationships? Who's in your life? Who's healthy? Who's for that change? Who's really making that happen in your life along with you, and who's not? And how do you spend your time? And where is your energy going? And what are you feeding your body and your mind and all of those kind of things? It's like you clear up the things that are not sure, that you're not sure about, that those things are not necessarily in line with the change that you want to see. And then you increase and start and power up the things that do offer you those things. And I've been spending time and energy clearing out and powering up And that was my next kind of stage in this process. Then instead of feeling drained by the desperate sense of wanting this change, seeing this change, knowing what we want to do, knowing how we want to doing it, but can't find the bridge to get there, instead of feeling that as being a block and a negative thing, actually be motivated by it. Now, that's easier said than done. Let me tell you, we have nights where we discuss round and round in circles about how to get to the bridge. We discuss things that look like bridges, but actually they're not, they're dead ends. We've had loads of bridges. We've come to the start, we've walked halfway over, and we've almost got to the end and we found the dead end. It's a learning journey, but it's about not seeing those as problems, but just being motivated by them. All opportunities are opportunities. You get better at honing in the real ones and the ones that need your investment and those that don't. You get better at that, but you're still going to come to dead ends, and that's actually okay, as long as you're moving towards it. And then it's about going one step further and pushing yourself to be with people that motivate you, that believe in you, team up with people who are sharing the journey with you and share that emotional ride and share the spiritual dynamic that's going on, and network with people who also want to see the change for themselves or be part of the thing that you want to see change, and basically find inspiration. Find the inspiration and find the community and find the body of energy, the body of people, the community. Again, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's slowly, it's surely, it's with purpose and passion, but that's where I'm at now. That's where we're at. And it totally transforms the experience of what you're trying to do. I think overall, I'm in a much better place than I was when I first acknowledged and signed up for a radical lifestyle change. I thought it would happen in 12 months. 3 years on, we are still rooting and planning and working that out. And 3 years on, I have no idea if I'm anywhere further than I was 3 years ago. Of course I am, in terms of planning, detail, all the rest of it. But actually, are we about to crack this egg or not? I don't know. 18 months ago, that would have been a real frustration and a cause of anxiety almost. But now, I'm learning just to go, well, let's fire up, therefore, and keep going with this. Hope is a major part of this story. Hope for the transformation, hope to get you onto the next day of doing. So that's all I wanted to blog about now, is just where we're at with that. And I'm soon going to come on to explaining a bit more detail about what we're planning. What is it that we've been working towards? I've mentioned it before, it's twig glue. And I'm going to talk more about that in the next one. Over and out.